Hi, Berry Bunch. Today I'm going to share a story with you about a rodent who was teased a lot. The name of the story that I'm going to share with you is one of my favorite stories by Helen Lester. She's the author. She wrote this story, and it's illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. The story is Hooway for Wodney Wat. Now let's start the story. Hooray for Wodney Wat. I love this story, and I'm going to read it. I love reading stories just like the characters would read it. I think so. Hooway for Wodney Wat. Poor Rodney Rat. His real name was Rodney Rat, but he couldn't pronounce his R's. To make matters worse, he was a rodent, a wodent, as he would say it. "What's your name, Rodney?" asked the other rodents. "Rodney Wat," whispered Rodney. "What's another name for bunny?" they asked knowingly. "Rabbit," mumbled Rodney. "And how does a train travel?" They winked at each other. "A twain travels on twain tracks," Rodney replied miserably. All of this teasing day in and day out made Rodney the shyest rodent in his elementary school. His squeak could barely be heard in class. He gnawed lunch alone. And while the other rodents scurried and scampered and scooted about at recess, Rodney hid inside his jacket. Yes, they made him feel really bad. Then one day, as the rodents were taking turns doing wheelies, a new rodent, a very large rodent, barged into the classroom and announced, "My name is Camilla Capybara. I'm bigger than any of you, I'm meaner than any of you, and I'm smarter than any of you." Then she added, "So there! Look at Camilla Capybara." With that, she accidentally on purpose elbowed an ear, bumped two noses, stepped on three tails, and lay down on a desk. Fur prickled in fear through the classroom. She sure was bigger than any of them. She sure looked meaner than any of them. But was she smarter than any of them? "What's 2 plus 2? asked Miss Fuzzleworth. "4!" shouted Camilla Capybara without even bothering to raise her paw. "And furthermore, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 8 is 16, and 243 plus 125 is 368. Later, when Miss Fuzzleworth asked, "What's the capital of?" Camilla interrupted, "New York, Albany, population 295,594. And during science, in answer to the question, "What part of a plant is below the ground?" Camilla Capybara danced on her desk and sang, "Root, root, rooty toot, toot." Yup, thought all the other rodents. She's smarter than we are too. They felt very, very uncomfortable. Every afternoon, just before the final recess, Miss Fuzzleworth drew a name from her hat to see who would be the leader of their favorite game, Simon Says. I love Simon Says too. She scrunched her eyes, closed, and jiggled the hat. Would it be Hairy Hamster? Minifeet Mouse? Grizzle Frizz Guinea Pig? Could it be Big Mean Smart Camilla Capybara? Miss Fuzzleworth's paw reached in and pulled out the name of Wodney Wat. The bell rang, and there was a wild scurry for the door. And Camilla Capybara was the first on the playground, having trampled all the others in her path. To Rodney, she looked especially scary. What would she do when she heard him speak? Would she breathe capybara breath in his face? Or tie him up in his own tail? Or even pounce on him? Oh no! The tiny, trembling leader of the game stood before the eager players, his head well inside of his jacket, and he squeaked, "Wodney says we'd decide." While the other rodents said, "PS 142 Elementary School for Rodents," Camilla began pulling up weeds around the sign and wildly flinging them hither and yon till she was clear up to her teeth in dirt. The other rodents began to smile. "Wodney says wrap your arms around your head." He peeked a little bit out of his jacket and saw, "Whap, whap, whappity, whap, slappity, swap, whap, whap." Camilla was wrapping her paws around her head so hard she became dizzy. Oh, and gave herself a headache. And she had to sit down. And the other rodents couldn't help giggle. Because Wodney says, "Play wing around a rosy." Camilla put out her arms like wings and made an airplane noise. But where was the rosy? What was a rosy, she was wondering. By now, Wodney's little voice was stronger and his head was entirely out of his jacket. "Wake the leaves! Wake the leaves!" Nobody moved. "Wodney says, wake the leaves!" While Harry Minifeet and Grizzle Frizz and the others busied themselves raking, Camilla Capybara grabbed one leaf and said, "Wake up!" She yelled, "Wake up!" She snatched another, "Come on you, up, up, up!" And another, "Rise and shine!" And another, "Boo!" By now, all the rodents were squealing with laughter, all but Camilla, who frowned. "Stupid leaves! They won't wake up!" And why was everyone laughing at her? Such bullies! In a voice so strong, he had to hold his own ears, Wodney called, "Wodney says go west!" The rodents collapsed in a happy heap for a rest. Go west. Camilla Capybara, feeling very smart that she could tell directions by the sun, she said, "All right, I shall go west." And then she added, "So there." West she stopped. Forever she was gone. Oh my goodness. And from that day on, the pupils of PS 142 Elementary School for Rodents never teased Wodney again. He was their hero. "Hooway for Wodney! Wodney Wat!" they cried. "Woot, woot, woody, toot, toot!" Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite stories. How Rodney became the hero to some kids who used to tease them. A lot of times that happens. Yes. Life happens. When you're younger, things happen. But as you grow older, those are things of the past and you learn from that. You become stronger. I don't like the "sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you." That is not true. I'm living proof that words do hurt. They lower your self-esteem. So any kind of teasing, bullying, name-calling, touching, using your hands to hurt someone is wrong. I know you have the message now. As always, I have to sing my song because I love you just the way you are. I love you, I love you, I love you because you're you. So please become the very best, only you. Because I love you. On your way to becoming the best you can be. Until next time, bye-bye very much.